In this video, we are going to be talking about decimal numbers, rounding up of numbers, significant figures, and decimal places. So to start off, when we are talking about decimal numbers, we mean numbers that have points in them. So for example, this is 2.567. So this is a decimal number, or say something like 3.456 or 7. So these numbers cannot be expressed in form of whole numbers. They are not whole numbers. Now when we are dealing with decimal numbers, say for instance we have a fraction 1/3. Now the result of this is 0.0003333, not 00, my bad, to infinity. Now most times if we have a number, say like this, 0.33333, we need to reduce it because we cannot write all the numbers. Now to do that, we have what is called rounding. Now when we are rounding numbers, we can do the rounding of numbers in one of two different ways. So the first way is called the significant figures, and the second way is called the decimal places. Okay, so let's take a few examples under significant figures and decimal places for you to understand the concept more. Now one thing to note when dealing with significant figures is this: you start from the first non-zero number from the left to start counting. So if the beginning numbers are not zero, you start from those numbers. So from here, 9 is a non-zero number, so this is the first number, and then the second number, and then the third number, right? So everything here on up to the end have to be eliminated. But before we eliminate it, we have 9.54. We need to eliminate 3 and 4. But before we eliminate 3 and 4, we have to pick the first number here and round the number. So for us to round this number here, the first number to be eliminated here, we have a kind of pattern to follow. If we say 0 to 4 are rounded down to 0, right? So other numbers from 5 to 9 are rounded up to 1. So in this case we have 3. Now 3 is between the range of 0 to 4, so we round 3 down to 0 and then add it to this 4 here, the next number. Okay, so that is 9.54. so that means that 9.5434 to 3 significant figures is 9.54, right? Okay, let's take another example. Significant figures. Now we are starting from here, but then this number is a 0, so it doesn't count when we are looking at significant figures. This number is a 0, this number is a 0. That means we are starting from the first non-zero number, which is this number. So we have the first number and then the second number, right? So everything after that would have to be eliminated. Now we have to pick the first number here and look at how we are going to round it up or down. So the first number here is 5. Now 5 is between the range of 5 to 9, right? So 5 is rounded up to 1. Now that 1 is added to 3 here. This becomes 0.0014 to 2 significant figures, right? Okay, let's take another example. Now I'd like you to pause the video and try this one out yourself. Okay, so we follow the same pattern like before. So we count from the first number, 1, 2. Now this is a non-zero number, so that's why we are starting here. Okay, so 3, 4, and then we eliminate everything else after those 4 numbers, but then we are going to be picking this one and rounding it. So the 4 is between the range of 0 to 4. That means it should be rounded down to 0. This means that we have 18.72. If we round this one to 0 and add it to 2, it's still 2. So this number becomes this number to 4 significant figures. Now let's talk about decimal places for a moment. So unlike significant figures that looks at the first non-zero numbers, decimal places starts counting from the point. So if they say I should round this number to 2 decimal places, this means that I'll count 2 numbers after the decimal places. That's what's going to count, right? Okay, so that means everything else apart from these 2 numbers are going to have to be eliminated. From these 2 numbers to the right, they have to be eliminated. So the same pattern we use for significant figures, that's also for significant figures, that's what we are going to use here. So we have 6. Now 6 is between the range of 5 to 9. This implies that it will be rounded up to 1 and then added to the next number. So to 2 decimal places, this number becomes 123.45. Let's take another example again. I'd like you to pause the video and try this one out yourself. Okay, so this number now, to 1 decimal place, we start counting from after the point. So this is the first number after the points, and then everything else would have to be eliminated. Now the first number here is 3. Rounding it down becomes 0, and then adding 0 to this next number becomes 0.3. Doesn't change anything. So 0.3 to 1 decimal place. That's the result of this number. That's all for that. Now if you like the video, you can share and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you.